I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about the good and the bad on my 2-year review of my personal GT350. My GT350 has been amazing. The good outweigh the bad, and this is just me nitpicking. It was very tough to come up with some things that I disliked about it, because honestly I love the car, but at the same time there are some things that I would say that could use some improvement. So I went ahead and I wanted to go take you guys for a ride and just kind of talk about those things. I got my car when I had just first turned 25 years old 2 years ago. The day of my birthday, I went ahead and picked up my GT350, and I just turned 27 at the beginning of this month, and I wanted to go ahead and just talk to you guys about my honest review. It's been 2 years. This is my 4th S550 Mustang, the 4th S550. So I mean, I love the platform. I have thought about moving to a different platform, but I honestly love this platform. It is so great. The car has such a presence when you see it rolling down the road, when you see one in person. I mean, now that I even have the car, even whenever I see other GT350s on the road, I still love them. I mean, I get excited just by seeing other GT350s, even though I already own the car. But I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about that. Also, I know that wing is from a Mustang GT, but the wing is really nice. As you guys may watch my previous videos, I do have the APR GTC 200 wing, which is like their middle sized one. It's not the big one, and it's not the one that sits closest to the trunk. It's a mid-range one, which I have, but I still have very tough times getting used to, especially wings. So I went ahead and took that one off because it is huge, and I still have it in case I want to go ahead and put it on, whatever. But right now I'm rocking this one, so I like it. It's no big deal. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys for a ride. We're gonna discuss some of those things, and I'm gonna also talk to you guys about, if you are one of these particular people that care about these little bitty things, and if you're this type of guy, you shouldn't get into a GT350. Alrighty guys, so one thing about this review is that compared to other reviews out there, is that I actually drive the car a lot. I have put, I think I got the car when it had 18,000 miles, almost 19,000 miles 2 years ago, and the car right now is sitting at 56. So I've driven the crap out of this car, and also enjoyed it how I'm supposed to be driving it. That's one thing about me, is that I at the beginning when I first got the car, the fact that I'm putting miles on it always kind of bothered me. But the more I drove it and the more I had it, I realized real quick that if I'm buying a car, or if anybody's buying a car that is this expensive and this special to them, you're not gonna keep it inside a garage the whole time and only drive it once or twice a week. You're gonna actually want to drive it a lot, especially on nice days such as today. You're gonna want to drive it. You're not gonna want to leave it in the garage. I do have a second vehicle, a little 4-cylinder that gets me places, and it's very fuel efficient and everything. But when it comes to the ownership of a car like the GT350, you're not buying the car for good gas mileage. You're not buying the car for it being comfortable while driving it. You're buying it because you want to experience the drive, and you want to be connected to the car in such a way that it makes you enjoy the drive. It makes you. So the very first thing that I realized whenever I got the car is how much the engine vibrates, and I've had a few issues. For one, the first issue that I had is that it likes to, if you have any sort of aftermarket pipes in the car, my car especially, it likes to blow the welds on those pipes, and there's really not much that you can do. I went ahead and took them off and got them re-welded with thicker welds,
suggest just keeping the stock exhaust and not even touching it. But you know, me being a performance guy, I always want to look and think about ways to improve, and that's one of the things that whenever I was looking into buying the Shelby, I knew that I didn't want to modify it too much. I just wanted to do the basic bolt-ons. I didn't even change the cold air intake, because in my opinion, you don't need an aftermarket cold air on these cars. And then I did the Lund E85 tune and the free-flowing exhaust, and that's about it. The car is perfect, and it put down right at 500 wheel horsepower, and I love it how it is. It's reliable enough, and I don't have to be worrying about all these other issues. That's the first complaint, is going to be the vibration that the Voodoo engine produces. I even had my oil pressure sensor get loose at some point. It started leaking oil, and I went ahead and checked it, and it happened to be that oil pressure switch that got loose. So I went ahead and tightened it, and I haven't had any issues after that. But it's just something to keep in mind, the vibrations. The second thing I'm gonna say, and this is, like I said, it's not something that bothers me enough to say that I don't like the car, is the fact that everything kind of rattles in the car while you're driving. And at first it used to bother me. I know I have a noise coming from the dash right here, and it's not your typical noise from under the steering wheel. It's right where the heads-up display for the shift light comes on. I think that's what's rattling. And you know, I've tried to fix it, but unfortunately it's internal. I'll have to take the entire dash apart to be able to figure out and fix it. And it doesn't bother me enough to go more in depth and take this whole entire piece out. But that's one thing that bothers me, is the rattling dash. Like I said, you don't buy this car, or you don't get rid of this car. You don't buy this car because of how comfortable it is inside. You buy it because of the driving experience. I see a lot of GT350s that get traded in early with low mileage just because the tires are loud or the cabin noise is loud. I mean, if you're complaining about those kinds of things, I don't think you should be even looking at this car, especially gentlemen that are coming from a background of German cars and high-end cars like that are built differently than the Ford Mustang. You know, it's gonna be you're gonna find yourself in a situation where you're gonna end up hating this car because of those amount of attention to detail, I should say. And that's in the interior of the car. Another thing I dislike is gonna be the panel gaps on the Shelby. It's a Mustang, and I understand that you know, it's a Ford vehicle and it's gonna have some flaws, but I mean, you can look at the Chevys and GMC. Not even their most basic Chevy Spark, not even that car comes with such bad panel gaps. I mean, you look at the panels on the little Chevy Spark, they're all gonna be nice and lined up. They're gonna fit perfectly. Whereas you look at a $100,000 GT500 or a Shelby GT350R, it's gonna have some horrible panel gaps. My car, the trunk doesn't line up correctly. The rear bumper is sticking out. I mean, I've done everything. I've taken it off, tried to put it back on, and it keeps on, not lining up properly. And it's honestly not my fault. I mean, I've tried to, like I said, fix it because that's the way I bought it and that's the way it comes. But it really, really ticks me that I'm buying a premium Mustang and it has those issues. I mean, like, what the heck is that? Another thing is the fact that I always talk about this in my videos, but you're paying so much for a premium Mustang to be getting the same exact chassis as the base model V6. And what I mean by that is weight alone, curb weight of the vehicle. This is a GT350, so it's gonna be around 36, almost 3,700 pounds on stock. Whereas, I mean, you can always compare it to a GT500, whereas the GT500 is, over 4,000 pounds, which is incredibly high and incredibly heavy for me. But, that's just one thing that I wish Ford would look at and try to focus more on things like the weight alone of the vehicle. Sure, you may look at the GT350R, that car still weighs a little bit less because of the lighter carbon fiber wheels and the rear seat delete, but at the end of the think you should if you get the GT350R. You shouldn't, you know, if you're paying the premium for carbon fiber wheels, you should keep them on your car. I mean, that's just you gotta get your money's worth out of what you're paying. But in my opinion, if I had to choose, that's not something that I would choose in a car. I would try to make it lighter elsewhere. But I do understand that they make the driving characteristics of the car like night and day compared to the OEM wheels or the regular wheels that are not carbon. You know, it makes the car feel a lot more nimble. The steering input is a lot sharper, things like that. But in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it, especially if you were to mess one up or curb one or you know, damage one of the wheels. It's gonna cost you a lot of money. I think don't quote me, but I think each wheel is like close to $5,000, and plus the tire. I mean, it's a lot of money, and in my opinion, it's not worth it. Whereas, you know, one of these wheels that I'm running the SVE replica R wheels, because I think they look really, really nice. It's gonna only cost me about $250 to replace the rim in case something happens, versus $5,000. You know, whenever you gotta order it from Ford. So like I said, there's not much. It was really, really tough to come up with those three things alone. Those are the three things that really speak up to me the most, that I dislike about my car. Other than that, I do have to talk about the reliability of the engine. This engine is very high maintenance. You are always having to check your oil. You're always having to check the filter, make sure that nothing's getting loose, things like that nature. And honestly, it's become a habit of mine now to check all that stuff regularly. So I don't look at it as negative. I just look at it as one more thing to do. Just like driving a manual car, you don't look at it as, oh my god, this is so much work. You look at it as part of your driving experience and part of the driving, because it's a manual car. That's a lot of things that people complain about, always shifting gears. I mean, you just gotta look at it in a different perspective, and you won't look at it as work. It'll change to just another thing, and it's gonna become part of the routine. video, I'm probably going to talk to you guys about all the positives and all the things that I love about the car. And you know, I'm sure that video will be a lot longer than this one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.